Everybody, Travis, mudcreek.com. Quick review on the Gerber suspension multi-tool. This is kind of a budget multi-tool, but I feel like for most people it's going to work just fine. It's fairly cheap. I think you can get it for as cheap as $20 at times, just depending on sales and whatnot. But it works well. I got it just as kind of a throw in a pack multi-tool that I could, I got a couple of them and throw them in different packs and whatnot. And so I have one. I don't tend to use a multi-tool that often, to be honest with you. And so for me, this is just fine. Let me grab the carrying case here so you can see that as well. So that's the carrying case it comes in right there. Little Velcro fits in there real nice. Just like that. Latches down. You can easily throw on a belt. It's got a belt loop here. You could go vertical with it or mount it sideways on your belt like that if you prefer. But it gives you a few different anchoring points, I guess is my point there. You pull open and show you more of the multi-tool itself. It doesn't lock in place per se. It does, but it's not like, it's just a manual. It stays shut pretty well. You probably over time have to tighten those. I'm sure they'd loosen up a little bit. Like I said, where I don't use this that much, I don't have too many problems. Get it all the way open here. But there you have it. I mean, you can see it's a pretty good little tool, though. I like that it has a little bit of, bounce back in the jaw there. It goes back, so that's nice. It's kind of a spring action jaw. It's got some locking tools in place. My only complaint maybe is it's a hair on the bulky side. Part of that's maybe because it's, not as nice a metal as other ones, and so it probably has to add a little bit more to give it some more strength to it. But let me show you some of the different tools here. They're not blades. You have, so pull these out. Try to do it without cutting my hand. So you have a pretty standard edge blade there. It's honestly, it's pretty dull. So you'd probably want to sharpen that up a hair. I don't know if they all come that way. I haven't really used that, so I'm assuming that's the case. I remember some of these used to come pretty sharp, but for cutting basic things, it's gonna be just fine. That works. And then you got a flathead screwdriver edge there. It's not super. I mean, it's not going to work for real fine stuff, as you can see there. It's going to work better for bigger screws and whatnot. And then you got a little bit of a Phillips screwdriver head there, and so I don't know how well that would work. I think it'd work though. Like I said, you wouldn't want to use this all the time, but if you're in a pinch, you need something to unscrew something. That's kind of the idea behind this, right? You got like a bone saw right here, basically. It's got those edges like that. That's mostly for like bone and whatnot, or softer woods, I would say. I don't know that I'd go to town on hardwood with it, but get the idea there. Let's flip to the other side. Let's start over here. Everybody loves a good pair of scissors. You can see how those kind of spring out. A little snippage there. I mean, to me, that's what made a lot of these multi-tools and like Swiss Army type knives famous, right? As if it had some scissors in it. There's another little fine tip. You could use that as kind of a flat edge for as well on as a flathead screwdriver to some extent. I'm not 100% sure what this part is, to be honest with you. I'll have to look that up, but I doubt I'll ever use that. You could do some different things. You got your bottle opener there. You could open a can of food there too, looks like. And then you got, this is actually pretty sharp here. This is more your traditional serrated edge there that you could use on wood and whatnot. Let me show you how this folds down. So if you're to use this, so obviously, and then it locks in place. So if you were going to use any one of these tools, you'd want to do it like that, lock in place, and you have a big old handle. And that's where the big handle is nice, right? Like if you're sawing or whatever, it just gives you a little bit more grip to deal with there. So that's kind of handy. Let's put that back here. And you can kind of one-handed that. I'd probably be careful though, because like I said, that's actually pretty sharp. So you don't want to cut your leg. Let's take a look at the jaw here. It's got some wire cutters there. You know, they're kind of a finer needle nose plier, which I tend to like. So you can see how it kind of has a, I don't know if beveled's the right word, but it's got kind of a beveled edge here that makes it even smaller, those jaws, to get it into things. But yeah, it's a good little tool though. And like I said, for 20-30 bucks, you can't really go wrong with this. Yeah, if you're using this every day and you're like an electrician or something like that, and you're going to have it on your belt every day, this may not be the multi-tool for you. But if you're hunter, outdoorsman, somebody that, you know, just kind of getting into it, doesn't want to dump a lot of money, but still wants something fairly reliable, I think it's going to work fine. I think some of these, I've heard some of the jaws can break if you do some serious torquing on it. When I was reading some reviews, the jaws of the pliers would sometimes break, but I don't think that's a common thing, and I think Gerber's pretty good about handling that on the customer service side. So, but I think for the most part, for most people, this is going to work just fine. You know, for most of the things, like I said, I can tell you on one hand how often I really pull this out when I'm camping and stuff like that. I just don't need it that often, but I do like to have it. I like the peace of mind of just having it with me, so if I ever do need it in a pinch, I can use it. So, you know, the pliers is probably the most important thing for me. I like the scissors too; those are kind of handy. Clean up your fingernails or whatever. You know, those saws, would I realistically use them? Probably not too often, but up hunting or something like that, you possibly could, you know. But yeah, so it's a good tool though. I recommend it if you're just wanting something basic to get in the door, and then you can always upgrade later, or just to throw in several packs. These are definitely worth it. So anyway, thanks for checking us out. This is Travis at mudcreek.com.